that. One was from Milford Transit. His name was Eric Rodriguez. And to the right of him was a newly hired member who was very exciting. Her name is Susan Anano. She was very excited to be a part of this informational and community-based equity day. And as you can see, there was countless flyers and of different agendas that we were pushing in terms of the air quality on buses. We took that opportunity to talk about the moving to total electricity on the buses, and as well as educate the people about the movement that embarked and surrounded Rosa Parks. And so it was a full, the day it's just a beautiful time and a beautiful day, and people were really receptive to it. We took pictures of people. We had we set up the pictures I sent. I just wanted to share with you. Pretty much just it just commemorates Rosa Parks and what that mission was, and what and those statements that were made in her regard. And the general public was just so receptive to it. We set up a memorial on one of the buses where we had a nice bouquet of flowers and also a sign commemorating Rosa Parks. And we allowed the general public to sit next to it and take pictures. And that really went far. As you can see, that some of the individuals who sat near the young lady on the right, Susan again, as you can see, she's trying to mimic Rosa Parks looking out the window. And on the left-hand side was a random rider who was she was so taken aback from just that seat being singled out for Rosa Parks. She asked if she could sit behind it and also take a picture. And the positive feedback from this was tremendous. And I believe that's what really got the transit, the Greater Bridgeport Transit involved heavily. And the general manager always wants to know, when is the next one? So we can do more. So if you include everyone, inclusion is everything. And when you include everyone, this grows legs. It literally expands itself. You don't have to go out of your way. I get calls before Equity Day even comes. I'm getting calls right now. What are our plans? What are we going to do? What do we need? And so it's a beautiful thing. And including the general public is everything. As you can see, I mean, this was all on Facebook as well. And they were literally thanking the transit company for acknowledging Rosa Parks. So that was free publicity for them as well. And so, you know, there's a number of things you can do. We even wrapped a bus for Milford Transit. We literally, we don't have a picture of it here, but we put a great big huge wreath on the front of it, and we put ribbons around the entire bus. And those are just some of the ideas that you can put into play when it comes to this. And I'm going to let Veronica Shaver share some of the things that she did as you know, as another ATU that's within the city. We're 9 ATU. We have 9 locals in the area, spread out through Connecticut. As far as Connecticut southbound, and when you're going northbound, as far as almost to the Indian reservations up in Foxwoods. So we have created a ATU legislative committee where we get together and we brainstorm and we figure out what it is we're going to do and what we're going to bring to the table or to the legislation and what we would like to see done next. So great things are coming. We're making a full court press for total e-school buses. I had a meeting today with a couple of organization members who really want to get behind that idea. Bridgeport is a urban city. one of the ground zeros of the state, because it is one of the cities that has the worst air quality. And a lot of children there suffer from upper respiratory diseases. Me being one of them. I was born with asthma and cystic fibrosis. And we have a lot of children like that in that area. So they want Bridgeport to be ground zero for total e-school buses in the next coming years. So I'm looking forward to that. We're in the planning stages of that. Now I'll turn it over to Veronica Shavers, the beautiful Miss First Lady Veronica Shavers, where she could give you some of the ideas she had during her Equity Day.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for that great introduction, Mustafa. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, Queen.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Mustafa, I would like to thank my brother for that great introduction. I am the First Lady. My name is Veronica Shavers. And I just want you to know that they call me First Lady because I am the president and business agent of Amalgamated Transit Union Local 443 down in Stamford. And they called me that because I'm also the First Lady in Connecticut to be the union president, which I am extremely proud of. I want to take the baton from Mustafa. We work together closely. That is really, truly my brother. And I really respect him as well as I do everybody else on this line. Mr. Hamilton, I just want to reach out to him. He's been a great leader for Mustafa and myself. So I just want to acknowledge Mr. Hamilton, our IVP, International Vice President, on the line, and the other great people from ATU and anybody else on this line. So getting back to what Mustafa just said, we acknowledge Transit Equity Day we take it very seriously. I think we started, Mustafa, correct me if I'm wrong, about 3 years ago, and we started out together. We got together and we sat down and we made some plans. And so Mustafa and we connect because down in Stamford, we have a bus that runs from from Stamford to Norwalk. And that's where Mustafa takes our transfers, and they as well connect with us. And we had the same idea. I got some of my ideas from Mustafa, but I had a stationary bus in my area. So what I did, I went to Connecticut Transit, and what I did for my first Transit Equity Day, and it worked. And I got so many people involved, especially the public, which was a very great turnout for me. I went to Connecticut Transit. I asked for a bus. Downtown in Atlantic Square, we call it. That's one of our main stops where people get on besides the railroad station. So I made my bus out like a museum. So we stayed there, and that's what I did. That was another great idea I came up with because I that's who I am. I like to be different. And you can see my bus right there in that screen right there, or that, yeah, I'm gonna say screen. You see the 7053 on the bus? I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I'm gonna educate you. And it says Rosa. That was her jail number when she went to jail for fighting for a seat on the bus for the Montgomery boycott. So 7053, I'm just gonna throw a little joke in there. If you play numbers, do that. I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out because that's royalty sitting there. And I had a rose across the seat in her picture. So that is my bus. And in the back of the bus, you'll see the other activists back there. That was a blanket that I received from when Obama first became president of the United States, the first African-American that became president. And right there, you'll see it says seats reserved. So I went to Party City and I got those signs. And on the other side of the bus, if she has that, you would see a picture of Rosa Parks. And I drew a poster and I sat it in a seat along with a dozen of some flowers. And one year I did a dozen of roses. And that seat was reserved as well, and no one can sit in that seat. So what I had was a walk through Rosa Parks Museum, a Transit Equity walk-through museum. And I had the back door open. The news channel 12 came out, my local news station. They came out, and I rolled out the red carpet. I don't know if she has that picture, and if she could put it up on the screen for me. I rolled out the red carpet one year for her, and that was the first year we did that.